effect on the curve, right? No effect on intercept, but the line is flatter. But what is the economic analysis? Increase in AE is smaller because increase in C is smaller. Okay, so our answers will always have nets and analysis. Okay, right? But if you want to, you go and practice the diagram. Okay, draw a new set or just sketch to show you. So, because it is flatter, so draw one that is steeper first. So this is your AE naught when you don't have tags. Now you have tags, draw a flatter one. Okay, AE1, T1 is positive. And then you repeat what I did just now. Take two levels of income, Y1, Y2. Okay, alright, so this is optional. Okay, it's not the critical answer, and I don't really favor this method if you don't understand what you're doing to the diagram. Okay, so that was the discussion in page 5 on the AE. So how much spending change, you realize, anchors primarily on C1. That's a very important element. But on top of that, B1, T1 will affect it as well. Right? Okay, so how firms, how government change policy affect spending in the country. Right? Okay, so that was page 5. So go back, finish it off yourself. I'll give you one more practice question. Okay, you may want to take it down. Right now, if B2 is positive, but assume B1, T1 is 0. Okay? I want you to prove that there is actually no effect on slope of AE. Right? Remember, prove with analysis. Okay? The analysis is income goes up. Okay? As per normal. So discuss B2 positive, then B1 and T1 0. Whether you want to have lump sum tax or not, it's up to you. But it's convenient. So in the exam, examiner will provide different version. Right? As long as you memorize the CIG based on the exam question, they will tell you what to set as positive and 0. Then you demonstrate the discussion of AE. Okay, alright? So that was the discussion of spending. But remember, the topic is on income, not just spending alone. So we only covered one side of the coin, aggregate expenditure. Okay, the market must have supply, aggregate supply. So let's turn to page 6 to continue the discussion. Right, now something about aggregate supply you must know. It has no equation. It was a behavior. Okay, that tells us in the country, supply is generated based on demand. Alright, supply, okay, in fact, demand generates supply. So the analysis will go like that. If you have demand, you can call it AE, then you will have supply. Right, so supply existed, okay, to generate demand. Therefore, you can see, if you want AE to go up, then AS will go up. But how can AE go up? Income must go up. Alright, okay, so there is no specific equation for aggregate supply. Right, it reacts to spending. But how does spending change when you actually have more income? So that tells you, therefore, okay, Y and AS, they are positively related. Right? So much so that we say Y equals to AS. We assume it's a one-to-one relationship. Because if you have no income, you don't have extra output, okay? And if you have change in income, you have a change in output. Right? And that also tells us, if you take change in Y over change in AS is 1. The slope of AS curve is 1. So such discussion is not required in the exam. That's why I didn't put in your notes. But for those who are very maths inclined, you wonder how AS curve look like. It's upward sloping and it has the slope one. A curve that has the slope one is 45 degrees. Okay, right? But if you can't graph this, never mind. Just take note that income and output is positively related. So we don't discuss AS in depth. We only discuss AS in topic 8. We're going to derive mathematically the AS curve. Here, because there's no price, prices are fixed. So supply generates due to demand. Okay? So with that, we're ready to draw equilibrium in the goods market. Right? So over our vertical axis is our supply and our demand. Horizontal axis is income. This is what we did before the break. This is the AE. Intercept, A bar. Okay, alright, slope is generally C1. Okay, and AE, C plus I plus G. So this is the most fundamental, the most basic version. If you want to, you can put in your C1, your T1, and then you indicate accordingly. Okay, but this is the most basic version. So total demand, known as total expenditure, is upward sloping. Okay, and supply. Right, it's actually a 45-degree line because y equals AS. Right, so when we say slope is 1, this actually means the line is 45 degrees. In the exam, if you didn't put 45 degrees, it's okay, man. Alright, so when demand equals to supply at point E, this is called equilibrium income. Alright, so it's not good enough to know spending. You must also know that spending will result firms to produce the goods. So when supply equals demand, equilibrium income. So nothing difficult, and this is known as the Keynesian cross diagram because the two lines cross at positive slope. Okay, right now you must be aware we have not reached IS curve yet. We are still at the doorstep. Okay, so don't overemphasize. Okay, but the concept here will build to understand IS later on. So this is the goods market in diagram. Okay, now let's turn to page 7. Right, I'm not going to do this today. I want you to go back and try. This question in the